let's just do this and go home.
Public record. All right, we are recording. All right, so 7 o'clock has arrived, opening the April 30th NBC meeting. We'll start with a salute to the flag as soon as Zach silences his phone.
Sorry,
There's always one.
can't take me anywhere.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. And for the record, present we have Alden Dill, Phil Bilodeau, Terry Roy, Herman Pretorius, John Dubianski, Zach Langlois, and Bill Von Hassel. I did not receive any emails in regards to not being able to attend. However, I also am not entirely sure everybody got the notification because I used the auto forwarding system that Steve Gemelli set up for us. Andrea did not, in her emails to me, specify who got emailed what, so there may be some folks like, I knew Alden used his personal email. I don't know if like Bonnie did, or Bradley, who's one of our new members, did. We'll probably wait till we hear from them before we call them excused or unexcused, because if they didn't get the notification, I don't want to call them unexcused absences, because for the folks that are new within under the RSAs for NBC, if somebody is unexcused 4 times, we're required by law to remove them from the board.
Four times in a row.
4 times in a row, correct, yeah, sorry, 4 consecutive times. So I don't want to start that process if it was my fault for just not using the correct contact information, and I don't believe that our agenda made it to the new website because, excuse me, because the new website does not have a NBC's agenda section yet. So,
I think I found this on the Deerfield website.
fantastic. It's a change as of Friday then.
I looked at it, yeah, because we met on Saturday at the transfer station, and you said something about a meeting, yep. I said, what time? So I went back to look for it.
Either that or you're better at Google than me, which is entirely possible. So we have, I think, 3 sets of minutes.
Yep. So I'll move the minutes to December 18th as written.
Have folks had a chance to look at them? Outstanding. So are there, anybody notice any errors or omissions? And if not, I'll call for a vote to accept. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone
I'm going to
opposed?
abstain. I wasn't here.
I will, so,
Did you vote aye, Terry, or are you gonna?
did.
You did, okay.
all right, so I will move the minutes of January 5th as written.
Second.
Okay, it's been, 5th has been moved and seconded. Did anybody notice any errors or omissions there? All right, seeing none. All those in favor of adopting the January 5th minutes, please signify by raising your hand and saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And abstain.
And I will move the minutes of January 8th, 2019 as written.
Second.
And actually, for Diane, Zach has moved all of the previous minutes, and who wants to,
Herman seconded the first two.
First set,
Got
okay.
this one, yeah.
okay, so Harmon for the first set, and Alden for the
That
second
is a
set.
good point, because she hates it when we do that.
Yes, she does, and I will get a text. All right, any, we're on now on the 8th, correct?
Yes, sir.
And there are gonna be 2 for the 8th, because that was also the date of our public hearing. Anybody notice any errors or omissions in the minutes of the meeting? I'm sorry, are you moving the meeting or the public hearing?
I was moving the meeting.
Okay. Anybody notice any errors in the meeting? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting the January 8th, 2019 meeting minutes, please signify by raising your hand and saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And abstained?
I'll abstain. I wasn't here.
Okay. Bill Von Hassel was our abstention. And then now we just have the public hearing left.
Move the minutes of the public hearing of January 8th, 2019.
Second.
All right, that was Zach and Alden. Does anybody notice any errors? None being heard. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And abstained.
Abstain.
Bill is the abstention, otherwise it was unanimous. So that gets that out of the way, and now I've lost my agenda. All right, so the next item on the agenda is election of officers. So the way that we do this is folks can make nominations for each position. We elect a chair and a vice chair. Nominations do not need a second, and it will be a simple whoever gets the most votes.
You said you were not interested.
I am not interested in either position, no, and I will just give the reasons for folks. The chair, because of my work schedule, for whatever, it just works out that my work gets busy around the same time we get busy, and the possibility of me missing meetings on fairly short notice is too high. So it would just not make sense for me to have all of the information vital to the meeting sitting in my truck and then find out that I have to stay at work and plow snow or something. And then the reason why I'm avoiding the officers altogether is in fair disclosure. I have accepted one of the part-time firefighter EMT positions. Thank you. So I don't have any ethical objections to staying on the committee because I can just abstain from the fire department payroll budget. But there is always the possibility, just via sickness or whatnot, that I could find myself chairing the meeting where they're discussed. And while it's probably legal, just my own ethics, I want to avoid it.
I'd like to nominate Herman for the chair.
Okay?
I knew sitting in the seat was a term.
Told you.
Okay. Are there any other nominations for chair? All right, there are no other nominations for chair. That'll make this fairly easy. All those in favor of Herman Pretorius for the, I am now saying that correctly, right?
Yes.
Okay. For the chair of the committee, signify by raising your hand and saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any oppositions? I cannot talk. Thank God I'm handing this off to you shortly. And do you want me to finish with officers, or do you want to take over?
You finish it off.
All right. All right, and I'll now take nominations for vice chair.
I nominate Alden Dale.
And also for the record, it was Alden Dill who nominated Herman Pretorius, and it is Zach Langlois who is nominating Alden Dill. Are there any other nominations? All right, all those in favor of Alden Dill for vice chair?
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, actually, we didn't do opposed, but it's all right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I abstained.
5. Okay. So I'm going to record it just for the heck of it. So just for the record, that's going to be 5-1-0. I'm sorry, 5-1-1. Here you go, Herman. It's your meeting.
Thank you.
There's the fire hose.
So, the agenda that I came up with, unfortunately, I do not have copies of the email policy. I apparently at some point must have left them here or whatever, so those, I don't know if anybody has that handy, so we could approve them, because I think we generally reapprove all of the policies each year, and then I also brought a copy of last year's overall schedule, if we wanted to start setting dates. It's your meeting.
Great, thank you very much. I think in the interest, because we don't have the policies for the email, I think there were 2 policies brought up during the last session last year. One was the email policy, and the second was how we communicate to parties in, that come before the budget committee about requests of information. So maybe it's worth gathering that information for next meeting, which looks to be probably in the September timeframe.
So I'd move that we table policies into the next meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Second.
Okay, so we'll push off the policies until the next
I
meeting.
think we need to vote on that.
You need to vote.
Need to vote on that.
Okay. All those in favor of moving the review of policies to the next meeting, please signify by raising your hand and saying aye.
Aye. Will we have these to review before the meeting?
Yes.
You should be able to have
I
an email.
I do have an old email policy, but it goes back to 2016, and the privacy, the inquiries
Okay,
that are supposed to pass through the chair.
right.
But they may have been altered or
Yeah.
changed.
We changed the email policy.
That's right. I think those are still somewhat relevant, but let me pull up the ones from 2018.
Yep.
And then I'll distribute those before the next meeting.
And then, Mr. Chair, just for the important thing, for the email, I think everybody here probably is aware of this. But if we do any further communications in between now and then, the only thing you can't do is we can't create a discussion in an email. So if, like, if the chair sends out a schedule, we can't keep reply alling back and forth because it becomes legally a meeting at that point.
Once you have a quorum, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
And so I'm sure the legislature has the exact same.
yeah. We don't talk about anything on email.
Yeah, so that's the only important aspect of that to remember in the interim.
And come in and talk to Steve, and Steve can get you set up with your town email address and password.
Okay.
'Cause you probably haven't got that yet.
No.
And I do have one other motion. I'd
Although,
like to make.
do I have to get one? Because, I mean, I've already got so many damn emails.
You do not have to, no.
The only benefit that we have determined with using the town's emails, if there are rights no requests of the email,
Yeah.
that basically it's just pulled from the town, they can pull the entire archive and.
Oh, versus sifting through my other
Versus
emails.
sifting through your personal email, which might have your personal, state, work, whatever else.
What could
So-
go wrong with that?
So
Okay.
I keep all of NBC and school board related stuff is on the SAU email, and that way if there's ever an inquiry into it, I turn it over to the SAU, they pull it, and I'm done.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we formally adopt Robert's Rules of Order as our management document. I think it would help, I'm sorry, gotta wait for a second.
Second.
It would help with those things that we've sort of argued back and forth about in the past. The Robert's Rules has an answer for a lot of those sort of little minutia things that come up.
Okay.
We sort of used it in the past, but a prior member did point out we never formally adopted it.
Okay.
So,
Do you think that's something that you can send to me and we can put all these documents together for people to review?
well, it's, Robert's Rules
It's a
is,
huge book.
yeah, it's like a dictionary. I don't have my copy with me.
It's also expensive. I think it's like $200.
Yeah, it's expensive, but I'm sure the town has a copy.
So, in
And we have a
what way
budget.
do you want to adopt that? Does that mean that we have to review this and
I think.
what applies and doesn't apply? Or
No,
are there a subsection we want to type out and say
I
these
think,
are?
I think with Robert's rules, it's more so on how we conduct the meeting. And then in the odd occasion that there's a disagreement, there's usually a solution to any disagreement buried within the book. So if John already, I know you have a copy of the
I do
book
have a
anyway.
copy, yeah.
So if John can be the Roberts parliamentarian, for lack of a better term, it allows him to, when there's a dispute, we can refer to the book and.
And I already have a copy.
And he has a copy, and it just allows the board to conduct itself in a pretty controlled manner, I think is the best way to put
Do
it.
we want to maybe, because it also binds you to a lot of things as well, vis-à-vis what the public does and how we have to respond. We may want to look into that a little bit before we officially adopt it.
That's right.
There's some current legislation going on with that, isn't there?
Yeah.
All right,
So maybe it's worth getting a subsection of that, if there's a relevant section that can apply to
Yeah,
us
okay.
specifically, or maybe our conduct.
all right, I will amend my motion, or if I just want to reword it, people can, that we look into adopting Robert's Rules as our managing document, but that is a good point, because I did see that in the news, that there was some legislation going on about dealing with citizens' comments and the such.
Yeah, and
Is it somebody's
if you-
being
If you
sued
adopt the
where?
rules, you have to follow the rules,
Yeah.
and they bind you to a lot of things as well.
Yeah.
So do
I've seen it
I
turn
should
into a
rescind my
mess.
second then, because it sounds like
You can amend your second to go with his.
I'll amend my second to John's motion.
All right, I'm happy with that.
I'd make a motion to move it to the next meeting.
Second.
Second.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just motion to table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
They have to vote.
I'll second a motion to table.
All right, so,
Gives me like 6 months to investigate it, so.
so we have to vote. Okay.
Yes.
So all those in favor of
Table.
tabling the motion to the next meeting, raise your hand and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0. All right, proposed 2019-2020 schedule. So, last year, I think we brought the meetings into 6:30 start times?
We moved it to 7.
6:30 to 7.
Oh, we moved them from 6:30 to 7, okay. Does 7 still work as a starting time for everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Pulling up my calendar here.
What I would recommend, and I think what we've done in years past, is I would look at the previous schedule as the chair, and then just try to align to a similar set of dates. There are some binding dates that, for when things have to be turned in.
Right.
For, public hearings and all that stuff. So I'd get that, and typically the chair, I think, just produces a schedule and produces it our follow-up meeting after you call the next meeting, and then we kind of live
Right.
with it.
So we kind of set the next meeting.
I
Yeah,
did check
right.
the
So
DRA
set-
website, and they have not kicked out these dates yet.
So
Okay.
I think for today, we set the next meeting.
Yeah,
And
so
then-
September 18th would just move a day earlier to September 17th.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, September 17th,
Yep, that works.
7 PM. And part of the agenda for that meeting will then be reviewing the remainder of the
Whatever is,
Schedule.
Yeah.
remainder of the schedule, along with potential deadlines. that
Okay,
we'll
usually we
respect.
don't do anything until late October after the September meeting.
Correct.
That's
What
correct.
what does the schedule look like, generally speaking, from Christmas to New Year's?
So
Busy.
starting in December, typically starting in December, till probably about mid-January, it's usually once a week. And I think we had 2 or 3 meetings that happened on a Saturday, morning in between that time frame as well.
Generally, we're not doing anything between Christmas and New Year's.
Okay,
Other than that, we're busy.
that's fine. I'm gonna be on vacation. I've already booked the flights and stuff, so December 26th to January 3rd.
that's when it all happens, though, is right then.
That's good, then.
I mean, typically, there's a Saturday work, if it's needed, there's a Saturday work
For the town
meeting.
and one for the
But
school,
I
potentially.
think in the past, we've kind of zoomed through those and
Yeah.
haven't really needed them.
That's generally a little later in January, not during the Christmas break.
As it gets to crunch time, yeah.
Okay, so first meeting proposed for September 17th,
Mhm.
7 o'clock,
7 o'clock, 7 PM.
repeat.
Do we have to vote on it?
I think you're the chair.
You
You're the chair, you
Yeah, you
can
can,
set
you have
it.
the authority to call
Okay,
meetings, yeah.
Perfect. All right, on to the next agenda item then, any other business? Hearing none, all right, citizens' comments, none.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning the meeting? Raise your hand and
Aye.
say
Aye.
Good thing we left all those agendas up there, John.
Great, that was easy.
Yeah, Herman, the only thing with being chair is you're gonna have to move the mic back to you.